Peggy, what's going on? Shh. I've come to make your fantasies come true. Oh, what? Yes! It's finally happening! I stood up from my chair and she shoved me back onto my bed. Peggy! No, don't talk. You'll ruin the moment. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the England Exchange. I'm your host, the bird, known as Sir Falcon, and apparently, I'm not just pulling into ladies now, apparently I'm pulling into guys too, because everybody in this hostel now wants a piece of the bird, man. Not that I blame them, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get into where we're here today. I was eating breakfast with Ozzy and Brendan when James entered the room. Oh, look at this guy. Do you ever change your goddamn shirt, James? It's a legit question right now to you. The yacht's looking a right mess again today. Grass is a mess. You three, get it tidy. I groaned, but James was already gone. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it either. They both up and left the dining room. Really? So now I had to be the one to mow the lawn all by myself? What the hell was wrong with those two? I sighed. Well, here's an option. Why not also not do it and tell him to go fuck himself? I mean, if the other two aren't doing it, I doubt he's gonna get rid of 3 people, or maybe he would. I don't know much about this James guy. Maybe he would get rid of all 3 of them. Well, either way, I mean, come on, dude. Ozzy and Brendan are doing it. You're gonna do it yourself. Okay, guys, don't worry, I got it. God damn it, Falcon. You have all the people after you, and you're still a goddamn beta. It was backbreaking and exhausting and took me hours to do it right. When I finished, James was just walking up with an egg bagel in his hand. Good. He went inside and it was all I could do to not kick the lawnmower and hurt my foot. This fucking guy. Oh, sure, boss, I got it. I'll do it myself. You don't do much. All you do is just walk around eating shit and drinking and, you know, being dirty, but no, I'll take care of it. Anyway, here's Ashley. That's odd. I walked into the kitchen to find Ashley on her hands and knees, searching under the cabinets. Ah, ha, ha. You getting a good look there, Falcon? Scumbag? Something wrong? Yeah, the frying pan went missing. I wanted to make an omelet, but without a pan, I can't. She pouted, her cheeks puffing out like a chipmunk. I laughed. I'll help you find it. Thank you, Falcon69. Together we searched every corner of the kitchen, each and every cabinet, drawer, nook, and cranny. The frying pan was nowhere to be seen. Someone must have taken it into the room, or maybe they borrowed it for an event? A banging pots together march? How strange. They could at least be kind enough to leave a note. Well, thank you for helping me. Now I can rest easy even if I don't have my omelet. Poor Ashley, you know? The omelet is a very important part of anybody's daily routine. Someone was banging on my door. Gee, I wonder who that's gonna be. Oh. You know, I love Peggy, but let's just be honest here. She's not really too refined now, is she? Always banging on doors, always yelling, always running around. I got something she could be banging on over here, though. Oh, stop. Oh, come on, really? You don't expect me to make jokes like that, or what? Come on, Falcon69, let's get going. Where? Oh, right, our date. Oh, it's our date already. Oh, shit, I forgot all about that. Peggy had finally managed to find some time to spend with me, alone, outside the hostel. Of course, being Peggy, she got overwhelmed with enthusiasm for an idea. Where did you take me? The fucking moon or what? Ah! A small body crashed into mine and I started dancing on the ice, trying desperately not to fall. And then we were both on the ice, me rubbing my rear and Peggy across my stomach. Well, I'd prefer that to be the other way around if you know what I'm saying. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's fine. That really hurt, but only for a moment. I grinned and helped her off of me, then slowly and carefully rose to my own feet. Go more slowly this time, okay? I'm surprised you never skated before, though. You seem like you'd try anything once. That's what I'm doing now, aren't I? But ice skating always seemed like the kind of thing tiny fairy princesses did. Not that fairy princesses are bad, it's just that I'd never really fit in with that kind of image. She laughed, somewhat self-consciously. I mean, I'm loud and obnoxious. We've covered that before. You know, you can fit whatever image you want. I mean, something tells me that Peggy would actually fit quite well into the tiny princess look, you know, she's already pretty goddamn petite, right? I almost feel like you fit the fairy princess image better because of the way you are. Oh, see? Even he spotted it. You think a tiny little fairy is gonna be all demure and whatnot? Heck, no. Fairies can fly and dive bomb like Wasp. Tiny little things can be vicious. I'm scared of wasps myself. I mean, I'm scared of any insect that flies. I mean, other than flies. Although flies just annoy the hell out of me. But any other insect that flies is kind of like, I'm out of here. I'm completely out of here. As a matter of fact, I ran into like a flying cockroach the other day. You don't even know how fast I fled the fucking area. I was just like literally flying myself. It was just like, oh no, flying cockroach? Absolutely not, science, what have you done? Probably break into your house and steal your silver and your underwear too. Whoa, dog. That's Bogarts, not fairies. And a fairy princess of all things, she'd be busy running the world, looking after all her subjects, traveling to all corners, yelling at her idiot minions, and demanding respect, like you. So don't worry about that. Alright, look, Falcon 69, I know what you're doing, but man, you're putting it on a pedestal right now, dude. You need to kind of simmer it down a little bit, just kind of draw it in like a volume or two. Just going way too hard. Peggy blushed, and then her eyes got really shiny. Really? Do you think so? You're not gonna cry, are you? No, I'm not. You're totally crying. That was not what I wanted to achieve on this date. She wiped her eyes, giggling. Never mind then, let's get back to having fun. She kicked off hard and... Ow. Not again. Sounds like Peggy, alright. After we finished skating, we sat down for drinks and snacks. Peggy kept spontaneously giggling, but every time I asked her what she was giggling at, she rolled her eyes and looked away. On the next batch of giggles, I felt a little annoyed. Stop it, what exactly is so funny? Do I have something on my face? What is it? No, it's hard to explain, you're just being you. I keep thinking, that's such a Falcon 69 thing to do. I glared at her, and she giggled even more. So you think you know me, do you? Maybe. Well, enough for this at least. She leaned over the table and gave me a quick kiss. Yes! Yes, we've achieved it! We're getting in there, guys. We're getting in there, guys and gals. Not just guys, you know? Gals, too. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of gals that are probably interested in Peggy, too, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, you better be excited, my friend. Unfortunately, I was so startled that my knee bumped the table and knocked my drink over. Oh, bugger. Sorry, that was my fault. We both scrambled for napkins to clean up the spill and banged our heads into each other in the process. I couldn't help laughing. That is such a Peggy thing to do. Hey! I giggled again and she pouted, then relaxed. So, is this okay? What? Us dating? Seems pretty okay to me. Is it okay for you? Yes. Good. By George, we did it! So, I think we might be going steady now. Yep, I think we might be going steady now because we're in my dorm room here in the middle of the night. Peggy popped her head in through the door. Hey, Falcon 69. Have you seen my volleyball? I can't find it anywhere. I need it for my practice. I glanced at the clock. It was 10 in the evening. You need to practice at this hour? When else do you expect me to do it? I have class and work and club activities. I'm trying to form a green commission at the university, but nobody's taking me seriously, so if I want to do justice to the team, Right. Well, I haven't seen it. Bloody hell, you were the last person I had to ask, so what, it's just vanished? That doesn't make any sense. Last I saw it, I put it in my closet last night after practice. How exactly do you practice in your room anyway? You can't fit a volleyball net in there. Although she had certainly tried, once. First I hit it up in the air, then I headbutted for a while. Last but not least, 30 minutes of striking practice against the far wall. It wasn't a mystery why someone would want the ball to vanish then. I'll leave you to it, but if I find it, I'll let you know, okay? Ugh, fine, thanks anyways. Where are you going? Oh no! God damn it. I thought we were there. You know, she's in my room in the middle of the night. I ran into Peggy in the hall. Hi, do you want to... Sorry, no time. She ran past me and to the stairs without even pausing. Moments later, I heard her clomping back up the staircase. Sorry, hi. Hope you're having a good day. I have to go buy a new volleyball. I don't have time to look for mine anymore. I could come with you. Too distracting. She kissed me on the cheek, then thumped down the stairs again. Bye, Falcon 69. Even now that we were officially dating, it was hard to get much time alone with her. Well, I like that she still has her own personality. So, you know, she was just being Peggy. So she booked it and she remembered, oh yeah, we're dating. I can't be such a, I can't do that anymore. So she ran back up, let me know what was happening, kissed me, and then booked again. It's kind of cute. Alright, I had just walked into the hostel after a long day of work when a high-pitched scream hit the ceiling, bounced off the walls, and tripped down the staircase. I flew up the stairs to approximately where I heard the source of the noise, Jiho's room. What? What's wrong? Angela was already there, hands raised as if in a boxing ring. My new carton of oil paints, they're gone. So is it just me or is everything going missing here suddenly? Oh, is that all? Jiho turned to Angelo, a look of utter horror on her face. They were new, I just bought them. They cost me money. You can buy more, can't you? She practically began frothing at the mouth. Do you know how expensive art supplies are? A few quid. If they're so cheap, how about you buy me some new ones? Angelo bristled. It's not my job to pay for you. I'm not your boyfriend or your father. Ugh, what? It's not my father's job to pay for any of my things. Whatever. You're kind of a dick, Angelo. Okay then. I felt it was time to step in before they strangled one another. We'll make an announcement at dinner. Hopefully someone will have seen them. I guess so. The look of mourning on Jiho's face told me she didn't expect to see those oil points ever again. And she was right. We made the announcement at dinner, but no one had seen anything. 3 things had gone missing at this point: a frying pan, a volleyball, and a set of oil paints. We have a regular kleptomaniac here. Just steals the most random things imaginable. No jewels, no money, no heirlooms, but paints, frying pans, and a volleyball. That's how you do it. Not very interesting items on their own. That's what I just said right now, Falcon. Not very valuable or tied together by any obvious thread, except that they were all important to their owners. When I made the announcement, I watched everyone carefully for a reaction. Aussie looked bored, Brendan glared, Danny started to fidget, and Mark began tapping out in the Hall of the Mountain King using his fork and glass. Not altogether unusual behaviors and not revealing in the least. So who did it? Who was taking all these things? Or was it just really a coincidence? It didn't seem like I'd be getting any answers for now. We have a regular old case on our hands here, gentlemen. And ladies as well. Well, who can the culprit be? As always, I either go with Brandon because he's a king dick, or I'm going with Danny because he's obviously a serial killer. Ex-convict serial killer. Had to change his name. Remember that? Danny had to change his personality. He had to change his entire identity because of his past criminal activities. I was finishing up a simple decompression exercise when I got a new email notification from Nene. Hey, Falcon69, just woke up. Had to go out late in a panic last night to get my tax return to the post office. LOL. Oh crap. In a panic, I checked the calendar. April 16, 1 day too late. Was I supposed to file a US tax return? Was I going to be sued and audited and sent to prison like Al Capone? I spent several frantic hours researching tax laws and sending messages to my parents. In the end, it looked like I would be granted an automatic extension of file because I was out of the country. I just needed to get my papers in order in the next month or so. I really need to pay more attention to these things in the future. That just felt really completely random to the entire story, didn't it? I was up late one night in my room, catching up on some reading, when I heard a timid knock on the door. Who would be coming to my room this late? Peggy, is that you? Oh, snap, son. We're back here again, and this time, she's knocking timidly, which is completely different than what Peggy normally does. Yes, Falcon69, it's me. I frowned. She sounded strange. Was something wrong? Uh-oh. Oh, don't tell me she's breaking up with me. What did I do? Come on in. Let me tell you, that face right there is not a breakup face. There's something on her mind, man. The doorknob slowly turned, and the door gradually opened to reveal Peggy draped against my door frame. She raised her eyebrows at me. Hello? Hello? Is everything okay? She left the doorway, slowly walking towards me in a weird way, sort of swaying, like she was on a tightrope and trying to keep her balance. Was she drunk? Peggy, what's going on? Shh. I've come to make your fantasies come true. Oh, what? Yes! It's finally happening! I stood up from my chair and she shoved me back onto my bed. Peggy! No, don't talk. You'll ruin the moment. To my surprise, she turned around and started dancing. To absolutely no music whatsoever. Her movements were smooth, but lacked rhythm, and was she trying to seduce me? Is that what was happening? Peggy, you don't need to do this. Shh! She seemed actually irritated now. Her face was starting to turn red. Oh. Yo, dog, just shut up. Play along. Play along. Well, this seemed to be what she wanted to do, so I might as well play along. I watched her, hiding a smile. She definitely wanted me to think of her as sexy, but it just came off as kind of cute. Maybe a little bit ridiculous, but cute. Oh! Oh, that clothing's coming off. Give me 1 second. That clothing is coming off, my friends. I found out that H apparently gets rid of the text box. You know, for no reason at all. She started to remove her clothes bit by bit, and I did my best to look serious instead of amused. It became easier the more she took off. So, are you ready? Me? I pointed to myself for some reason. Of course she was asking me. She nodded shyly, her face now a full shade of red. I have to tell you, Peggy, I can't imagine any other way you would do this. Her eyes narrowed. What's that supposed to mean? Falcon? Don't you fucking ruin it, keep your mouth shut. It's very you, that's all. But if you don't mind. I pulled off my shirt and took her by the hand. I think I'll take you up on your offer. Oh! In a way, it was great that she made such a production of our first time together. It was my first time too, and the fact that she was so nervous ended up making me more relaxed. Ah. Yeah, I know you were probably expecting. You're not gonna get the actual sexual scenes here, man. It's not a straight-up X-rated visual novel. Yet, anyway. Despite all the mishaps that happened, we had a great time together that night. It was klutzy on both our parts, but I couldn't have asked for a more perfect first encounter. Damn right. Damn right, Falcon 69 got his dick wet. Finally happened. Had to go to England, but he finally did it. That night, Ashley cooked dinner for the hostel again. It was one of those rare occurrences where everybody was able to attend. Even James was there, though grudgingly. I wonder whether there was something in his contract that forced him to spend a requisite number of days with us in the hostel. Or perhaps he just really liked Ashley's cooking. Regardless, despite the number of people, we sat in stark silence, lost in our own heads. The fact that the items had been going missing around the hostel had made things tense among everyone. Not to mention nobody wanted to look like a troublemaker around James, so calling anyone out or even pointing out there was a problem would essentially be snitching. I doubted anything would be done about it, even if we mentioned it. James would probably be happy to punish someone who'd done wrong, but he wouldn't lift a finger to investigate for himself. Probably. No one knew or wanted to talk to each other. We were only there for the food. Finally, Jiho cleared her throat. So, I've been thinking. Angelo snorted, and Jiho glared at him. Yes, you were saying? Well, what if we all went on to a joint trip to the beach? I know things have been stressful around here, what with, homework and everything. She glanced nervously at James, who looked as if he was about to disagree, but... Oh my gosh, Jess? We totally have to do this. I haven't been to the seaside in yonks, not since that soggy June with my friends. The whole hostel together, a recreational excursion, it'll be great. I'm not planning any excursion. I'll do it. I'll plan everything. You're too busy already. I mean, won't that be too much for you alone? Whatever, everything else you're already doing? Not that it ever stopped her from taking things on, and practically could never get in the way of Peggy's enthusiasm. I wanted to help her out, but honestly, I don't know enough about travel in England to be much of use. But, Danny, you're good at organizing things. Can't you give her a hand? Falcon? Falcon, look, dog. We kind of already know she had a thing for Danny before us. Why are you... What are you, this guy's looking to get cucked? This fucking guy, I don't want to talk about this guy anymore. He's an idiot! Why not? It sounds like a good enough idea. Look, dude, you're sending her off with a goddamn serial killer ex-convict who apparently has a dark, bad boy brooding thing that girls might like, especially Peggy, who would like them at some point. That's a terrible idea, you dingus. If Danny was helping her, maybe she stood a chance. Yeah, she said something, alright. James snorted. Consider the finances. You'd need travel, food, and a room and board for all of us. With so many, it wouldn't come cheap. We can get a group discount, and we're students. If you go as our chaperone, perhaps we can convince them as a class trip. And the hostel will be shut and empty during the time, costing me money. It wasn't like this hostel took in a lot of stray guests. We permanent residents, we were usually the only ones here. No security either, with everyone gone. Have to hire someone to look after the place. Watch the water. Now he's just making up excuses. And arrange time off of work for those in the program who would then not be earning. Couldn't do it less than 600 pounds a head. Each? For a couple of days at the beach? Even if everyone had separate hotel rooms, that sounded way too high for a minimum. Looking around the table, everyone also seemed to agree with me. May 5th. It's my free weekend. Leave on that Friday, back on the Monday. It's the only time. So if you each put down the amount by the deadline, we can go. Get me the cash by May 2nd. Peggy clamped her mouth shut. An unspoken agreement sounded among the boarders. That was as good as we're going to get from him. Right. Get to it then. He stood, brushed himself off, and left the room. As soon as he was gone, Peggy shot her arms to the sky. Yes, we're going on a beach trip! I don't mind this at all. Good luck getting all that money. Hey, if we just pile on a few more hours, it shouldn't be too hard, right? I'm here to explore England, not to work myself to the bone. Yeah, finish your food before it gets cold, why don't you? There are seconds if you want them. And so it was settled. We'd all be heading to the beach on May 5th, if we could cough up the dough. There was less than 2 weeks before James' deadline. Even if I got extra hours in my job, I wouldn't get to keep the whole wage. A share of everything I made went straight back to the hostel, and I knew better than to hope James would count as my contribution. It would really suck if everyone else went on a trip without me. Yeah, that would suck. You know why? Because you're not only... They're going off to the beach, probably naked. Well, not really naked, but, in bikinis and stuff. But you're also putting Peggy to pair this thing up with Danny. I was going to die. I was definitely going to die. Are you ready to jump? What are these people doing? Are they jumping off of, they're probably skydiving, aren't they? Peggy sounds like somebody who would skydive. You would not. You can't pay me enough money to get me skydiving ever, man. You humans are crazy. See, I'm a bird, and even then I have issues like, fucking in the air. But then you guys, you humans with no wings, you can't fly, you're jumping off of planes with parachutes. What's wrong with you? Huh? You goddamn crazy daredevils? No, I am not ready to jump. Are you sure you're really certified to do this? Of course I am. I made sure it was one of the first things I did when I turned 18. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it? And you became certified at 18? There was no time for me to rethink my decision, however. I was strapped to a tandem instructor's chest and the countdown started. And we jumped. The wind rushed past my face so quickly I hardly even knew whether I was screaming. If I didn't have the goggles on, I wouldn't have been able to see the ground. The goggles, they do nothing! Instead, it was a rush of sensations. Height, wind, cold, kind of feeling like when I was being slapped in the face by something, and the gear strapped to my body. Nearby, I saw a blur of red. Peggy was spinning in the air, doing backflips and front flips and 360-degree turns. She really was something else to be able to do this. It took a bit for me to come back to reality after we landed. I kept replaying what happened in my mind, my brain trying to justify what just happened. We weren't in the sky, it said. We were on an alien planet. Stupid brain. You feeling better? A worried Peggy strolled beside me. Of course, it was just a bit of passing sickness. I definitely threw up until I was dry heaving upon reaching the ground. But it wasn't my fault. You can't tell me that was the first time anybody had ever thrown up upon flinging themselves outside of a moving plane. Oh, here's an idea. How about you don't fling yourself off of a fucking moving plane, you dingus? Jeez, this guy. Thank you for doing this with me. Would you believe you're the first person I've gone out with who's ever agreed to it? Oh, no. No, I can't believe that. Oh, you're telling me that people decline jumping off of planes? Oh, I never heard that before. I am? Yeah, and I used to go out with all sorts of macho guys, The really physically fit, big ego, alpha male kind of guys. They were all sissies when it came to this, though. So sissies? Oh, you think we're sissies? No, it's not being a sissy, Peg. It's being fucking smart. Okay? I ain't got a wing. Sorry, I'm letting the cat out of the bag now, huh? Humans don't got wings. You can't fly. Just stop jumping off a plane. They didn't like that I did it either. Said it made them feel emasculated or something. I'll tell you right now, that would not make me feel emasculated. If anything, I'd just be like, okay, you want to jump off a plane? Go ahead. I ain't doing it. You know what that makes me? It makes me smart. For not jumping off a plane. Sounds like you dated a lot of insecure men. Well, went on dates with those men. They never made it past the first date. I can't be bothered with people like that, The girl in my sixth form, she always would let people just trample all over her like that. I had to watch her slowly become less and less of herself. It was so sad. So I learned not to let the same thing happen to me. I smiled. I'm glad you did. I was about to head into my room when Peggy grabbed my sleeve. Yes, is something wrong? No. But, I heard once that adrenaline does some wicked things to you. And that it makes some certain things more enjoyable. Oh, damn, son. Her face nearly matched the color of her hair. I chuckled and opened the door. After you. Ha ha ha! Oh, you scumbag, you. She barely had time to cross the room. I shut the door and instantly went after her. One thing led to another, and then we were under the covers testing out her theory. As it turned out, she was right. Ha 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 ha! Oh my god. My man coming through after all. The night before the cash deadline, I pulled up my bank balance. As I read the number there, my heart dropped. A little over 400, not enough for the trip. I was so close, if only I had more time. But I knew better than to expect James to cover the difference or let me pay him back later. So was that it? Was I just not going? I collapsed into my chair, completely at a loss. Yo, Falcon 69, you're in there? Ah! I tried to close out my bank account, but not before Mark glanced at the screen. Oh, that's rough. I don't suppose you've given James the money already? I shook my head. Too bad. So no trip for you, my friend? I suppose not. I'll just stay here. It's fine. I'll figure out something else to do with my time. Mark shook his head. Do you think James will trust you to stay here alone? Oh shit. I groaned, tugging at my hair. He's gonna cancel the whole thing and it will be my fault. Mark grinned. Tell you what. I'll fill in for you. I'll give you the rest of the money, eh? What? I glanced up at Mark, and to my surprise, he drew up a rolled-up wad of cash from his pocket. This should cover what you need. He flicked a few bills off the stash, then held the rest out to me. Here, no strings attached. Except for one, I suppose. Do not tell the others that I gave you this. Also, do not ask where this came from. I assure you it's clean. Mark, I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. Don't pay me back. I don't want it. It's yours already. He smacked me lightly across the face with the money. Take it. My arm's getting tired. I took it, hand shaking slightly. But... Quiet. Don't ask questions. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. He stuffed the remaining few bills back into his pocket, then left the room. What? I stared at the bills in my hands, 20-pound notes, all of them. Added to the money I had already saved, it would be more than enough for the trip. Why did Mark give me so much money? Why would he just give it to me? It wasn't like we were dating or anything. Well, at least this meant I would be able to go on a trip with everyone else, so yay? Maybe it would be better to just deliver the money to James and not think about it. Okay. Well, here's a few things. Number one, kinda weird. Got all that money. Things have been going missing. You don't think Mark's been stealing and pawning shit, has he? I mean, not that you're gonna get that much money from a volleyball, frying pan, and paint, right? Yeah, that wouldn't be the case, unless he's been stealing other shit we don't know. Or number two, he asked for a date, we said no. Now he's gonna pay himself into my pants. That's what it is. Mark is gonna pay himself into my pantalones. That's probably it, man. I think I figured it out. Anyway, as I was about to head to my room for the evening, Brendan caught my arm. Falcon 69, James told me to tell you to fix the cash register. Fix it how? What's wrong with it? How am I supposed to know? It's not my problem. Nothing is ever Brendan's problem. Not when he can offload it onto me instead. Frustrated, I dashed to the register by the check-in and opened the drawer. What exactly was wrong with it? But as I looked, I saw the problem. Something was jammed inside the drawer, stopping it from closing all the way. I worked at it for a little while, taking out bits and pieces and rearranging the drawer on the inside. Finally, I set it all back in and shut the drawer. Trust James to think of some stupid bit of maintenance that needed doing at the very last minute, and trust him to make us do it instead of him. Shaking my head, I climbed the stairs to my room. Okay. I feel like that might be important for some reason. It just seems too random to just ignore it and be like, oh yeah, just a random event. At last, it was time for our beach adventure. Okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for this one, guys. We will come back next episode, and we'll have the beach episode, and I guess we'll probably see everybody in their bikinis now. Oh, baby. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like. I will catch you next time.